Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Dr. Erez Shor. Dr. Erez Shor has 25 years of experience in academia and a startup ecosystem. He is currently the CEO of Exero Medical, a medical startup developing a resorbable healing monitoring implantable. Prior to Exero Medical, Erez led the development of a multidisciplinary applications spanning digital mapping systems, chemical detection using brain-computer interfaces, and neural implants to treat spinal cord injury. Erez's academic training includes a BSc and MSc in electrical engineering, PhD in biomedical engineering, and a postdoctoral training in neuroscience. He is also a graduate of the Mirage Institute Lean Startup Executive Program. Well, good afternoon, Erez. Welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here. How are you, Brian?
Absolutely amazing. This is exciting. And again, meeting a new wonderful person on the other end of the microphone, halfway around the world. You're hailing out of the great country of Israel. So I appreciate you joining us today. This is so exciting. So again, welcome. And Erez, we're going to jump right into the questions here. You've got quite the career in technology, product management, a postdoctoral research fellow, and now the CEO of Exero Medical. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
You said inspiration, and I think about curiosity. I think everybody is born being curious, and that is why children keep asking why. Why are the skies blue? Why is ice slippery? Why does it taste funny? And why does something is very aesthetically pleasing, unlike others? And when you add the how does it work? How can I fix it? On top of the why question, I think it's a major engine that can really take you places. So a couple of years ago, I went to a bike ride with a friend, with Shai Poliker. He's now the CEO of the Medical Accelerator. And although we're not top athletes, actually he is, but I'm not a top athlete, it was more of a social conversation. And he told me a story about anastomotic leaks. Now, apparently, it's a major problem. Every year, millions and millions of patients undergo surgeries in the GI tract. And the GI tract, or the digestive tract, is a tube. During the surgery, the surgeon has to remove a part of it. In most cases, to remove a tumor, but not necessarily. And as he removes this part from the digestive tract, he has to close it, to reseal it. In some cases, maybe 10% of the cases in some indications, patients develop a severe complication as a result of a leak that happens and detected days after the surgery. So during the surgery, everything is okay. A few days after the surgery, a problem begins. And it's very interesting because it's very difficult to detect this problem in a timely manner. By the time you're able to see something in imaging, such as CT scan, it's way too late. And those patients are hospitalized for weeks long, and they suffer from extremely high rates of mortality. And they stay in the hospital for weeks, and it's something that should be avoided. Unfortunately, in most cases, people failed to develop techniques or tools that will prevent those leaks. And as to this day, there is no reliable way to detect this leak on a timely manner. So he described this problem to me, and I saw something that impacts millions and something that is a very interesting riddle. Why does it happen? Can I fix it? And so this engine, as I told you, took me places, and that I think was what started Exero Medical. And together with a true syzygy of the availability of technologies and a basic idea of being able to sense internally some healing data from the tissues, we contemplated an idea, and that led to the founding of Exero Medical.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The stories are really what draw us in, right? And that's what I love. That's what our audience loves about the inspirational stories. Again, I think that's really where the journey is for most all entrepreneurs, is they're trying to solve a problem and the story behind it. So thank you. And Erez, what was the single biggest business decision you had to make during the first year of the lockdown and the pandemic? Is there anything or how I should say, how different is that business strategy now versus then?
The pandemic definitely changed things. First of all, we realized that if we can steer away from having to rely on heavy infrastructures available at hospitals, that can be extremely helpful. Now, let's dive into it for a second. We would like to monitor tissue healing post-surgery. That's our goal, because once we're able to convert healing into tangible data, we're able to detect the problems on a timely manner. Usually, the tests carried out at the hospital are indirect, and we refer to CT scans or we refer to blood tests. In all cases, it requires the patient to be hospitalized, and it requires the patient to use infrastructure that is heavy and available only at the hospital. Now, on top of being able to provide this early detection of the leak, we also wanted to develop something that can be used even at home to be applicable for more indications. In some cases, patients stay in the hospital until they're safe. But other indications, such as bariatric surgeries, patients can be discharged the day of the surgery or a day after. And they need to be monitored at home. And this monitoring has to be reliable, because if the problem occurs, the patient has to come back to the hospital as quickly as possible. So I think that was another lesson we learned from the pandemic. And if I look deeply into it, we wanted to develop a technology that applies to most internal surgeries. So we started with GI because there are, again, millions of patients that are impacted by this. But we definitely want to take this technology to healing monitoring in general, and to solve more problems in more directions. So if I need to summarize, on top of all the operational problems that are associated with the pandemic, with people that do not want to go to the hospital because they're afraid of catching the virus, with the fact that elective surgeries were delayed and so forth, I think the idea of having to monitor people at home really influenced us. And indeed, our second generation, that is currently under preclinical development, is resorbable. So we intend to use the surgery as a time point in which the implant is implanted and starts monitoring the patient. But then we don't want to have any procedure needed to remove it. So we developed a resorbable sensor that stays in the patient, monitors the area until the patient is safe, and then degrades away.
That's awesome. We've learned a lot through the pandemic. We've innovated a lot, and we take a lot of things for granted, and we've certainly learned a few things during the pandemic about these elective surgeries and things that actually do negatively impact the lack of the treatment negatively impacts the healthcare of the patient. So appreciate the share on that. And Erez, you're obviously leveraging some new and emerging technologies within your business or your medical company, right? Is there anything you could share with us today?
So I'm happy and glad to announce that we just started a clinical study for our device. This clinical study commenced a few weeks ago in 4 large medical centers here in Israel. And it's the first time we are implanting our device in patients and obtain this real world data of how they heal post-surgery. If we look at the technologies, so we have a sensor, and this sensor is connected to a wireless transceiver. So data can be crunched in the cloud and remotely, and we can use the latest of machine learning technology. I think I told you something about the true syzygy, and it also played a role in the development of the technology. Because when I look today at the knowledge and availability of devices, electrophysiological devices, and availability of data management and data processing and machine learning applications and machine learning tools in general, the whole ecosystem is now ready for development of biodegradable sensors that can really change the way medicine is handled and post-op care is done.
Thank you for sharing. I love emerging tech. I studied it. I talk about it. I interview people, and this is what really gets me going and wants to learn more so I can share these amazing stories to a global audience. So thank you again, Erez. And last question, Erez, can you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in tech or leadership?
Thank you for this question. I need to go back to this motto of be curious. Be curious and don't be afraid. Carpe diem. I think I was influenced by my environment, both my wife, my family in general. They were very supportive of taking decisions that are not necessarily trivial, but definitely take you places. So you're curious about something and you're willing to go the extra mile to really investigate it. It can really shed light on new things, on interesting things. You are getting to be in contact with interesting people. And so I think it's an ideal situation in which you're able to satisfy your curiosity, you're able to share opinions and work with interesting, remarkable, bright people. Overall, don't be afraid, be curious.
I love that. Curiosity is really what makes the world go round. Honestly, people trying to solve the world's problems. So Erez, I wanted to let you know it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure.
Bye for now.